Hi. As I had warned before, the Greek drama is beginning to unfold gradually. Now, I had warned that this is really going to come and roil global stock markets, and this is what has exactly happened. You see, most global stock markets had ignored the warning that was coming from Greece, and I had in my many presentations in many forums pointed out that the Greek saga is something which has not played out entirely. To begin with, what started in 2009 was not completely done. There were many attempts made to bandage this whole crisis of Greece that was beginning to unfold. The debt to GDP ratio of Greece was so high that it needed some austerity measures within the country, and naturally there was a lot of turmoil and agitation because of that, and this has finally come to haunt. Now, there are a lot of fund managers who think that this is already baked in the cake, so as to say, which means that this Greece problem has been around for such a long time that you cannot see things getting worse from here. I completely disagree. This drama of that is unfolding in Greece is yet to play out in its entirety and will continue to roil global stock markets for quite some time. This has indeed got a major impact not only for the euro but also for the entire European continent. And that's why the importance. I believe this whole thing could take around 15 days or so to peter out, and this whole issue is going to spread into many other markets as well. Now, why Greece is important? Because should Greece exit the eurozone, the question will be what about Spain and Italy? They could be next. They also have been suffering from very high debt to GDP ratios and could also be on the hit list next. So this is the reason why the Greeks drama does not stop here. The buck goes further from here, and this is what could keep the global stock markets on their toes. Now, in between, you could see rallies keep coming, which I pointed out sometime in June. There would be rally. If you go back and see my presentations, I had clearly pointed out there could be some rallies. But what's the use if you just come back to square one? Are you investing for 10 days? I'm sure you have a certain horizon in mind. For example, Dow Jones Industrial Average is now in the red for the year 2015, which means if you had invested in the start of 2015 until today, you would be in the negative territory. So instead of that, you could have just kept your money in a small certificate of deposit, fetching maybe 0.5% or 1%, and made more money because you would at least not be in the red. There are two very interesting observations which came out of the global stock market sell-off as has been happening now. One is a leading fund manager says that it's an excellent buying opportunity. Greece has given us a tremendous opportunity, so go and buy all these stocks in the world that you think have fallen dramatically. Now, that is again underrating the importance of Greece, which means you're saying that Greece is not so important. It is just one event which has just happened out of the blue, and it has got no repercussion in world stock markets, really, so as to say. And whatever has happened is extremely temporary in nature, and just use this as a as an opportunity to just go and buy because this is not going to come again. Well, one can put it in that perspective, only if one realizes that the repercussions of Greece are restricted to the European continent. In today's world, where finance is so interlinked between various parts of the world, you should not forget that a rise in interest rates in the eurozone could lead to money coming back into Europe as well. Because interest rates being high, there could be tremendous opportunities for people who are sitting with a lot of liquidity in various parts of the world, such as in the emerging markets, to bring back money into Europe. And this moment of money reversal of cash flow from emerging markets into Europe, it will have tremendous impact not only on the stock indices in the emerging markets but also on the in the world of finance and in the bond markets, which are suffering to quite an extent at this present point of time. So this is not something you can just take very lightly. Uh, this is the attitude that really tends to turn off people, investors, because they do not understand the implications of such a statement, of gross statement by a leading fund manager, which has been made with utter irresponsibility. Now, and another issue is that yesterday you found that global stock markets were on a selling spree, and on this day, copper went up quite dramatically. Now, copper has been falling for quite some time because there are fears that China is slowing down dramatically. Now, once China is slowing down, then you understand that copper is a very important item that is used in production. And China, being a major manufacturer in the world, if it is losing less of copper, then naturally the copper prices tend to fall. But there were many futures contracts that were open in copper, and just in one day, futures contracts equivalent to almost 96,000 tons of copper were reversed or were closed. The reason being that there were many margin calls that had come because of the sell-off in global stock markets, especially the Shanghai Composite Index, which is now in a major downturn. It has risen dramatically this year, but is already down more than 20%. So, in order to finance these margin calls, you found that people closing bets on copper. That means copper had reversed itself. 96,000 tons of copper is equivalent to Barrick Gold's Zavardar copper mine in Chile. Um that is one of the leading mines and this shows the amount of futures contracts that were reversed just as a result of one day sell-off in global stock markets, and of course the last few days sell-off in continuing sell-off in Shanghai Composite Index. um, Now, incidentally, the copper mine in Chile I was talking about, of Barrick Gold's Zavadar mine, is up for sale, and is their asking price is something like $1.8 billion, which is ironically equivalent to the amount at stake in the Greece crisis. So you could just sell that mine and take the money and give it to Greece. End of the chapter. This is what some leading fund managers would say, again, very irresponsibly. I think that the global stock market sell off is going to continue further, likely to intensify, and investors are advised to stay on the sidelines, move out. Better buying opportunities will come, but this is not a time. Take care. Happy investing. Bye bye.